Here we go. The staircase leading up to the end. Apparently I'm missing 3 skills, as well as the encyclopedia. Apparently there's 1 enemy and 2 bosses who I didn't fight yet. Let's do this.
Welcome. I have been waiting, Leon.
Walter, I will never forgive you.
I see. It seems you have enjoyed the gift that I gave you.
Yes. Thanks to that, I now have the power to defeat you.
Well, that power is quite something. But I am beloved by the night. You will taste my powers.
I'll kill you and the knight!
Interesting. Now the curtain rises on this delightful little game.
Final boss time. Walter, Lord of the Castle. Of course, he's immune to my sub-weapons. What indeed?
What?
Now there is nothing left to protect you. I'll fulfill my promise to Sarah now!
Not yet. The power of the night is still full. I shall teach you the meaning of true terror!
Now he's getting into it. Whoa. Okay, we all got blown up.
Now you join her.
I'm keeping that in the highlights. This is hilarious. That's how you dodge it. Camera? Whenever his voice gets distorted like that, start running immediately. One more. He won't die to a sub-weapon. Whoa.
It can't be. This should not have happened.
Sarah's suffering. And Ronaldo's grief.
And everyone's suffering.
Carve them into your cursed body and perish.
But with my powers, I will surely come back to life. I could not obtain the Crimson Stone. But someday, it will be mine.
Dead.
No! You betrayed me! I shall take your soul!
Apparently, the knight became bored of him.
This power I offer to the king who wields the Crimson Stone!
How many millennia has he waited to say those words? You.
Excellent. I never spent a better night.
Matthias?
You didn't disappoint me, Leon. I knew without a doubt that you would accomplish this.
What is the meaning of this?
I knew something was fishy.
I needed a powerful vampire soul. That is all.
Are you saying you used me?
Not just you. Your betrothed, Sarah, Ronaldo, and Walter. I used all of you. I never thought it would go so well, though.
Is that red stone? The Crimson Stone?
Ah, you know it. I'm impressed. I made Walter's soul mine with the power of this stone.
I sense a rage from this whip. Matthias, you abandoned humanity?
That's right. By becoming a vampire, I obtained eternal life. That was my goal. It was my revenge against God.
Revenge against God?
We have risked our lives and fought for the sake of God. But God mercilessly stole away the one I loved most. When all I ever wished for was Elizabetha's safety. If limited life is God's decree, then I shall defy it, and within that eternity, I shall curse him forevermore.
Matthias.
Leon, after what you've been through, you should know.
Yes, you're right. I do understand. How you feel. I too.
Then come with me. I will give you eternity too.
You wretched fool.
What?
Is this what the woman you loved would have wanted? The Matthias I know would not have loved such a woman.
That Matthias died alongside her.
Elisabetta was a kind, honorable woman. She was concerned only for me to the very end. That is why I hate him! Am I wrong? Did you not defeat Walter with hatred in your heart too?
Yes, I'd be lying if I claimed otherwise. But defeating him... no. Preventing others from suffering the same cursed fate. That was Sarah's dying wish. Granting my beloved's wish. That is all I can do to prove my love to Sarah. Eternity without her would be nothing but emptiness.
Leon, I thought that you would understand. Dawn is coming. Farewell, Leon. Death is all yours.
I'm curious, what was Matthias's lover's wish?
Stop!
By my master's orders, you'll be destroyed here and now!
Anyways, time for Final Boss Part 2, Debt.
Futile! Die! Die! You fool! Die!
Come on, I need to get close to you.
Minion!
He's completely immune to my sub-weapons.
Minion! Die! Minion! Die! Minion! Die! Die!
I can either dodge or guard against it. Double.
Minion! Die!
Got hit doubled. I thought he was gonna only fire one shot there.
Death overcomes all. Minion!
This is mostly a whip-only battle. The problem is if I get knocked into one, I'll get knocked into the other one, and so on. But we've clearly established that Det is immune to all sub-weapons. Worse than that, he'll counter all of them with a magic missile. I complain about games not being fair, but this fight is relatively fair. Hey, I like tough final bosses. In fact, I'd say this is more enjoyable than the bonus boss. I can see where Dracula's trademark laugh comes from. One more. Let's rumble that. For real this time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's better to keep jumping around.
Minions! Deadly Tempest!
Whoa.
Deadly Tempest!
So just keep jumping.
Deadly Tempest! Die!
I think I used the wrong item. Okay, that pierces.
Die! Deadly Tempest! Deadly Tempest! Deadly Tempest!
This actually isn't too difficult to dodge.
Deadly Tempest!
Just keep running in a straight line.
Deadly Tempest!
See? I'm actually more worried about him summoning in new enemies.
Tempest! Deadly Tempest! Impossible!
It's over, Det.
To think that I would be...
I have the power to destroy all related to the vampires. Though you have divine powers, you are no exception.
Unfortunately for you, as long as my master survives, I will rise from the dead.
I see. Give him this message. You have become a cursed being, and I will never forgive you. This whip and my kinsmen will destroy you someday. From this day on, the Belmont clan will hunt the night!
This was an epic final battle. I agree though, the Forgotten One was tougher. And right on schedule, the entire castle crumbles.
So, he did it.
And thus begins the centuries-long feud between the Belmont clan and Matthias's forces. And thus, this marks the end of my Let's Play of Castlevania Lament of Innocence. Here are my overall thoughts on the game. Graphics are okay to decent for the PS2 era. They're fine, albeit nothing too spectacular. Applying the widescreen patch as well as raising the internal resolution and anti-aliasing helped make everything look better. On the other hand, the aesthetics and music are good. I like how each major area looks environmentally distinct and contribute to the gothic horror setting. Same with the variety in music tracks. A few of them are more lower key, such as the house and part of the gardens, while others are more quote-unquote in-your-face, like the Anti-Soul Mysteries Lab and the Pagoda. Story-wise, it's standard fare, functioning as the beginning to the entire Castlevania timeline. It's a rather tragic tale, seeing how, in the end, even though Leon triumphed over Walter in death, he lost both the love of his life and his best friend, a more bitter than sweet outcome. Gameplay-wise, it's fun with no major down points. As an action-adventure title, it focuses heavily on whip combat, somewhat on exploration and puzzle solving, and a little on platforming. Personally, I enjoyed the combat loop. I appreciate how you can obtain effectively 40 different sub-weapons, and can have access to up to 8 at the same time. All of the 5 main sub-weapon types feel useful in battle, especially in regards to the knife and crystal, which I initially believed would be lackluster. Oh, how wrong I was. In essence, they all have their strengths and weaknesses. There are also the different elemental whips you can equip. However, I only swap between them when fighting bosses or for opening up extra rooms. Similarly, I had access to various combat moves, but I barely used them as most of the base moves were more than sufficient. I'm not saying these moves are bad, more experienced players will be able to get a lot more mileage out of them. Supplementing the combat are the relics and accessories. The relics act more as tertiary weapons, to provide a temporary boost or to act as a backup weapon. Other than the Black Bishop, I didn't find much use for them. The Wolf's Foot would have been another good one had I obtained it. As for the accessories, they typically confer minor bonuses, which are nice. Much of this would be for naught if the forces of darkness were not satisfying to slay. Thankfully, this title succeeds on this front, with a nice variety of monsters. I do wish, however, we had more environmental hazards, such as the guillotines in the palace. And there's plenty of secrets to be found while exploring. Sometimes it's money, sometimes items, and other times major upgrades like relics and stat ups. You just need to be attentive to find them.
And so the story of the Belmont clan's struggle against evil begins. However, Matthias and the Belmonts will not meet again for hundreds of years. Matthias goes into hiding in foreign lands and continues to curse God for eternity. Eventually, he names himself Lord of the Vampires, King of the Night. The years before their next meeting pass slowly and quietly, but with finality. The intermission in this exquisite play from which two souls will never escape.
While there are some minor puzzles, they're almost always simple to solve. This is not an RPG, but it certainly has RPG elements, such as stats and equipment. Platforming does exist in this game, but compared with the N64 titles, it's noticeably de-emphasized. When it does crop up, it tends to occur only in specialized rooms, whip posts, or for bonuses. Difficulty-wise, it fits a satisfying middle for the franchise. Most regular enemy encounters are relatively straightforward to dispatch. The hard ones are reserved for the bosses. Examples include Armster, Dat, Doppelganger, Succubus, and of course, the Forgotten One. If I played safer and elected to only strike when openings were clearly available and or the targets were staggerable, my experience would be easier. Additionally, there are some extra modes available if you're looking for an alternate and or more difficult playthrough. My biggest criticisms are with the stage navigation, enemy type clarity, level distinctiveness, and the final area. Due to all the fixed camera angles, it can be a bit confusing navigating through the castle, particularly with some areas. That's why I kept opening and closing the map, to reorient myself. This wouldn't be my biggest issue had there been an on-screen compass, or better yet, a mini-map, or have a different color for the door arrows if the room hasn't been visited before. It's somewhat awkward exiting a room with one camera angle and entering a new one with a completely different one. The enemy clarity issue was fixed in Curse of Darkness, where enemy level is displayed. I know enemies are color-coded, but if you're fighting them for the first time, it's kinda difficult to gauge power differences, especially if they share the same or similar names. As much as I complimented the level aesthetics earlier, I believe most areas could have done more to establish themselves. That being, have more stage elements unique to those locations. Which leads me to the final area, the Pagoda. It sets the mood of the oncoming final confrontation very well. However, I wish it called back to each of the 5 main stages in some fashion. It's more of a personal preference though. Overall, I quite enjoyed playing through this entry in the franchise. It was, at the very least, a consistently decent experience, with no major low points or critical flaws. Therefore, if you're looking for a 3D Castlevania game to play, I'd recommend beginning with this one. FYI, I may play Curse of Darkness in the future as well. Once again, thank you to everyone who voted for this game during voting gauntlet number 3. In any case, thanks for watching my Let's Play of Castlevania Lament of Innocence. If you enjoyed it, please rate, comment, favorite, and or subscribe, as they all help out the channel. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter as well, and join my Discord server, as I regularly post updates there. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all in a future Let's Play